deaths, 21.5 or no access to contraception. The full effect of the pandemic and ensuing lockdowns is just starting to become clear as countries take stock of their public health and education programs.
The world-famous Masai Mara Game Reserve this week joins Island Global Greening Extravaganza when hundreds of landmarks around the world are lit up green to celebrate St. Patrick's Day on March the 17th. Island's ambassador to Kenya, Fionnuala Quinlan, who was at Oloimutia game that was illuminated, said the move was a sign of deep-rooted friendship between Ireland and Kenya.
Ololaimutia Gate at the Masai Mara Game Reserve has joined the old favorite sites that have gone green after the island government, in collaboration with the county government of Narok, teamed up. The Global Greening Initiative first began 11 years ago in Australia when the iconic Opera House was illuminated in green on the 17th of March 2010 and now has become a global attraction. 13. Ireland Ambassador to Kenya Fionnuala Quinlan said the global greening was a way to connect Ireland with the diaspora.
All around the world, we light up these sites so that our people feel connected to home, so that the countries where the landmarks are lit up, they learn a little bit about Ireland, they learn a little bit about our culture and our heritage, and also it's to tell Irish people about these places. And that's why I think greening the Masai Mara is so wonderful.
She added that the greening of the Masai Mara was also a strategy of marketing the Masai Mara Game Reserve to the Irish people and strengthening the two countries' bond.
Tourism, and in Narok County, tourism is just crucial. It's your lifeline. And Ireland is quite like that as well. Tourism for us is incredibly important. So I think it's really important that we've come together to really promote tourism here in Kenya and tourism in Ireland. And that's what the greening is all about. It's about building our links.
Narok Chief Officer of Tourism Newton Olem Paima said the county takes great pride to be honored as part of the global extravaganza.
The Global Greening Initiative complements the Global Ireland Strategy, which aims to strengthen Ireland's engagement in our diaspora and bring our rich culture and heritage to a wider audience.
Other sites that have gone green in previous years include the Leaning Tower of Pisa, Victoria Falls, the London Eye, the Sky Tower in Auckland, the Princess Palace of Monaco, and the Cibeles Fountain in Madrid.
Really unfortunate incident. A state of grief has engulfed a family in the village of Imadala in Shinyalu, Kakamega County, after the death of a 14-year-old child who ate a banana that was said to be poisoned. 4 others between the age of 8 and 12 continue to receive treatment at the Kakamega Referral Hospital.
Residents of Imandala village in Shinyalu, Kakamega County, are trying to come to terms with the recent food poisoning incident that claimed the life of one child and left 4 others in hospital. Nifa Lukalu, grandmother to one of the boys, said she left the bananas cooking for a while and returned later to serve the meal. She says the children started complaining of stomachache after eating the food and thereafter began to vomit and diarrhea.
Nimechukua watoto kaweka kwa daktari. Daktari akawatumia hao watoto. Sasa watoto kufika balinitumia mpaka asubuhi, baliniambia niende na watoto wengine nyumbani. Amepaki watoto wawili kwa kitanda.
The situation got so dire that one child, identified as Melvin Kalakala, succumbed as he was receiving treatment at the Kakamega Referral Hospital.
Kufika Jumatatu saa 1 wananipigia simu, chanzi anawaka dunia. Nikaenda kweli nikapata mtoto yangu amefanya nini, amekufa.
4 other children are receiving treatment at the same hospital. Neighbors fear someone may have poisoned the food after the grandmother left it. They are calling on authorities to investigate the matter.
Area hii yetu ya Katu ni area mbaya sana. Pombe iko nyingi, bangi iko nyingi, bangi inafutwa, pombe inakunywa, mbele na nyuma ni pombe.
Fanya vitu kama hii wanafanya. Hii ni unyama sana mtu kupata kitu kama chakula, aenda itie sumu. Angalia sasa hii poma sasa iko na huzuni.
Reporting for KBC Channel 1, I'm Jacinta Nyambura.
Elsewhere, Trans Nzoia Governor Patrick Haemba has called for the urgent reconstitution of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission ahead of the 2022 general elections. According to Haemba, the current state of IEBC is worrying and could easily plunge the nation into a crisis.
Sisi kuona tunalaumu IEBC wakati wa kura. Kura ikiisha tunasahau IEBC. Ingewezekana tufanye kazi, tujenge IEBC yenye kusimamia kura, hakuna mwenye atalalamika. But we are not doing it. Kura ingine ndio hii imefika. It's the same IEBC. We got only 3 commissioners. Mmoja akipata corona, they will not be able to operate.
And at about 18 minutes past the hour, we are taking our first break. We'll be right back with more news, including business and sports.
Ili kupata skiza tune hii lazima nishike kwa simu yako, bonyeza *811 *962 hash.
Lazima nishike mapema. Nisiposhika hii simu mapema utakasirika. Unajua mimi nikiwa mtu ya marathon najua niko na experience kabisa. Niko na experience. If you don't hurry, you will not break the record. Okay, wacha nishike hii simu.
Ili kupata skiza tune hii bonyeza *811 *962 hash *811 *962 hash.
Next on
tabia za kuudhi ambazo hufanywa pia na baadhi yenu nyinyi wafanyikazi wa nyumbani.
Chau. Hizo ndo tabia zenye unafanyanga hapa kitchen mkiwa peke yako.
Shaurembo mama. Wanibipu.
Umepiga vipi?
Hivyo na kuinama wanipiga picha.
Kwa nini hizo?
Hivyo nilivyovaa nguo hiyo na wainama hapo wanipiga picha.
Na huo ni ungwana?
Matches don't come any bigger than the Emirates FA Cup quarter-finals, which will take center stage this weekend. While Manchester United have a mouth-watering trip to the King Power Stadium, where they will face Leicester City at 8 p.m. Live and exclusive on KBC Channel 1, your true sports partner.
Welcome back and thanks for keeping it Channel 1. Elsewhere, a section of Orange Democratic Movement members in Kisii County is faulting the National Secretariat for silence over impending nominations ahead of the forthcoming Bonchari parliamentary by-elections. Led by David Ogega, an aspirant, they expressed reservations the exercise may be abandoned altogether in favor of direct nomination. 3 candidates are eyeing the ODM ticket as the seat fell vacant after the death of John Oro Oyoka last month. Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission IEBC has set May the 18th, 2021 as the date of the mini-poll.
It is strange that my competitors can pay nomination fee, prepare the ground to participate in elections, and thereafter go to Orange House to look for direct tickets without involving the people on the ground.
Lakini tukipata kama hakuna nomination, tunaweza kusangaa tena, maybe tunaweza kulose ya ODM kutoka hapa Bonjari like last time. So kitu kidogo tunataka nomination.
We can win the coming by-election if only the nominations are well done and we get the best candidate which the people of Bonjari want.
Aba murao ba Bonjari batatu.
And still on politics, Westlands Member of Parliament Tim Wanyonyi is calling on the Jubilee Party to tread cautiously when trying to expel the Deputy President. Wanyonyi, who is an ODM MP, said politicians should look at the bigger picture of the country and the need for unity in all their undertakings. The legislator, who was categorical that each party has its own in-house processes of disciplining and suspending senior members, said some actions could be costly to the nation.
I am very sure if the Deputy President, who is the Deputy Party Leader, if he is sent packing, he will leave with a section of the party, and then another section will remain. So there will be those who are diehards of the Deputy President, and then there are those who are aligning to the party leader, who is the President. You will see the party will have been torn in the middle. So I believe whatever is happening, I think the President should apply wisdom and see what works best for him and the party, other than taking such a drastic action, which may bring a lot of, not just in Jubilee, but it may bring a lot of tension in the whole country.
To education matters now, and 180 schools in Makueni County have received 300 bags of food donations to feed their Standard 8 and Form 4 candidates during the Kenya Certificate of Primary Education and Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education examinations. The program, that has been rolled out in 133 primary schools and 47 high schools, will relieve the anxiety of learners during the duration of the final exam. Speaking at Mukuyuni Primary School Area Member of Parliament Joshua Kimilu urged the government to support the initiative to reach many more schools. KCPE examinations will be held between the 22nd and the 24th of this month, while the KCSE 1 begins from March the 25th to April the 21st, 2021.
Primary school, alafu tuko na 47 secondary schools. Na hao mashule yote yatafaidika. Nataka na tunaomba serikali pia iendelee na kutusaidia, kwa sababu eneo langu inakuanga na ukame mbaya sana. Kama saa hii mvua ile imenyesha, sehemu nyingi sana Sakaiti hawakufanikiwa na kupata chakula yote. Na kuomba serikali iendelee na kutuongezea, tuhakikishe watu wetu hawaja kufa kwa sababu ya njaa, kwa sababu wanafunzi wetu wakifanya mtihani hawatakuwa na wasiwasi kwa sababu chakula itakuwa. Kwa hivyo nataka kuwahimiza na kuambia success ile napatia wanafunzi wangu wa Kaiti ni hii chakula, wakifanya mtihani wakuwe na chakula. Kwa hivyo
And a number of stakeholders in the health sector claim they have been sidelined in the rollout of the AstraZeneca vaccine. Speaking before the Senate committee, players in the sector faulted the Ministry of Health for failing to carry out sensitization campaign on the vaccine, which has led to fears among even the frontline workers.
A number of stakeholders in the medical field are pointing an accusing finger at the Ministry of Health on the rollout of the AstraZeneca vaccine. The chairman of the Kenya Union of Clinical Officers, Peterson Washira, questioning the approach adopted by the Ministry of Health in trying to enlighten Kenyans on the jab.
Currently is that from the medics who are supposed to be ambassadors and who are supposed to be able to advise the community, because they look up to us, we do not have enough information And if we do not have enough information, it means we are either going to misinform the community.
The sector players saying top leadership in the country should have been the first to be vaccinated to instill confidence to the populace, as is happening world over.
So on the concerns that they have, and some of the concerns are around adverse effect monitoring. We've seen, and healthcare workers are not immune to what is happening in other countries, and that is one thing that has not clearly come out with regards to...
have not been involved in policy pertaining the rollout of this vaccine, and indeed in other policy making at the Ministry of Health. Nurses have not been involved. And as KMPDU have said, we have not been involved in terms of training.
They have also taken issues with the methodology of the rollout, claiming health workers are being turned away from alleged inoculation centers. The committee has promised to hold a meeting with Council of Governors to get answers on the concern.
Further afield, 8 people, including at least 6 Asian women, have been killed in shootings at 3 different spas in the U.S. state of Georgia. Police said 4 people were killed at a massage parlor in Acworth, a suburb north of Atlanta, and 4 more at 2 spas in the city itself.
Officials said a 21-year-old man, believed to be a suspect in all 3 attacks in the U.S. state of Georgia, has been arrested. Investigators studied CCTV footage, then released images of a suspect near one of the spas. Police said that after a manhunt, Robert Aaron Long of Woodstock, Georgia, was arrested in Crisp County, about 150 miles south of Atlanta. Hate crimes against Asian Americans have spiked in recent months, fueled by rhetorics that blame Asian people for the spread of COVID-19. Meanwhile, health officials in Brazil's most popular state, São Paulo, have called on the new health minister to consider imposing a national lockdown as coronavirus deaths continue to rise. On Tuesday, Brazil recorded 2,841 COVID-related deaths, its highest ever daily total. São Paulo registered 679 deaths, also a record for the state. Brazil has the second highest number of infections and deaths in the world, behind the U.S. Health Minister Marcelo Quiroga, who will be formally appointed on Wednesday, is the 4th person to hold the office since the pandemic began. And the Oxford AstraZeneca COVID vaccine is safe, the health secretary has said, after some European nations paused its use amid concern over blood clots. Matt Hancock urged people to listen to the regulators and to get the jab as soon as they got the opportunity. 13 countries have suspended use of the vaccine while they seek further clarification on its safety. Elsewhere, former U.S. President Donald Trump has urged his Republican supporters to be vaccinated against COVID-19. In a TV interview, he said the vaccine was safe and something that works. Trump's conservative fan base has been one of the main groups resistant to the vaccine program. The former president was criticized during his time in office for downplaying the seriousness of the pandemic. Wanjiro Chege, Channel 1 News.
Fanya hivi, wewe teremuka tu chini. Hata watu wanangojea, unasema unione. Si ninakuona ndio huyu kucha. Kucha ninakuona.
Yoi.
Nimekuita mara ngapi Kate? This is the Nissan Note.
Hii ndio motoka.
Not that this is the Nissan Note we are giving out.
Na ni rahisi sana kuwekelea bid. Unaenda kwenye lipa na M-Pesa. Unaweka paybill number 4032353. Kisha unakelea account number ya Nissan Note ni Note, N-O-T-E. Namba ambayo unapenda, labda unapenda 100, labda unapenda 200. Wekelea Note 100, Note 200. Alafu tutakuitisha shilingi 40 peke yake, 40 bob only. Weka pin yako, utakuwa umekelea bid ya hii Nissan Note. Inakungoja wewe mahali popote ulipo. Mimi na mtumishi tutakupea.
Welcome back. In business, a communication clash between the Agriculture Food Authority in Nairobi and the Ministry of Agriculture on the ban of maize importation from Uganda and Tanzania has left maize traders at a crossroad. Maize traders in Busia County have now given a 2-day ultimatum for the ban to be lifted or they will have to protest.
The Agriculture and Food Authority, in a letter dated March 5th, said maize from the two countries have revealed high levels of mycotoxins that are consistently beyond safety limits. Agriculture Cabinet Secretary Peter Munya appeared to contradict the FAA letter when he denied banning maize imports, saying it was a stopgap measure of ensuring compliance. Kenya lifted the ban on imports of Ugandan and Tanzanian maize with strict conditions on exporters as the country seeks to curb shipping in of the cancer-causing aflatoxin on the imported crop. However, lack of clear communication to traders and the presence of 3 directorates from the Department of Agriculture to inspect maize was a way of repressing traders.
Kwa hivyo tunauliza, je, hii wizara moja italetaje idara zaidi ya 3 kufanya shughuli moja ambao lengo lake ni mfanyi biashara mmoja katika mzigo mmoja?
Minister anasema mahindi hujabaniwa. Hao wako na memo na barua kutoka kwa Director General wa AFA akisema kuwa mahindi ina sumu.
Earlier on, a meeting between traders and FAA department had been convened but did not bear fruits as they did not agree on conditions put by the departments.
Tumeandika memo inaenda kwa minister. Asipotimiza itabidi tuandamane kwa sababu hatuelewi kwa nini wanasimamisha mahindi. Tunapatia minister siku 2 ili atimize.
The maize business is one of the major occupations of the residents of Busia. For Channel 1 News, Amwangari Washuri.
Elsewhere, efforts to resolve a revenue sharing spat between the Ministry of Tourism and Taita Taveta County have been derailed after ministry officials snapped an alternative dispute resolution meeting. The county government is claiming a share of the revenue generated from Savo West and Savo East National Parks, which cover over 60% of the county's landmass.
Savo National Park generates 60 billion shillings in revenue annually. The Taita County government is claiming a chunk of the funds, saying locals are not benefiting from the parks that occupy over 10,000 hectares of the county's 17,000. This claim has now pitted the county government against the tourism ministry, a case that has prompted the intervention of the Intergovernmental Technical Committee through alternative dispute resolution mechanism. A meeting to roll ahead discussions was unsuccessful after tourism ministry representatives failed to show up.
Ni vizuri taasisi za serikali, vitengo zote za serikali na pia idara za serikali kuweza kuheshimu sheria ambazo ziko ili tuweze kuhudumia wananchi vizuri.
The committee chair said the ministry should take the matter seriously and show the will to reach a resolution.
This should not be repeated and that we are, for the sake of resolving the dispute, we are going to make another attempt to bring the two parties together.
The county is also seeking to have some game ranger vacancies at KWS set aside for Taita Taveta residents. Betty Kiptum, Channel 1 Business.
Across borders, fintech company Flutter Wave has teamed up with US payments giant PayPal to enable PayPal customers pay African merchants through its platform. The collaboration will connect small and medium enterprises with the more than 377 million PayPal account holders globally. This and more in our Continent Business News Roundup.
Flutter's Wave integration with PayPal will be operational across 50 African countries worldwide. Online payment got a boost with the COVID-19 pandemic as people rely on mobile apps for shopping and paying bills. Flutterwave could consider a New York listing after it raised $170 million from investors to expand its customer base. pushing its valuation up to more than $1 billion. Meanwhile, Total said it had joined up with Company Forest Resource Management to plant 40,000-hectare forest in Republic of Congo as companies around the world step up policies to help the environment. Total said on Tuesday that this forest could create a carbon sink that will sequester more than 10 million tons of carbon dioxide emissions over 20 years. Finally, Egypt's Minister of Planning and Economic Development, Hala El Said, signed a cooperation protocol on Tuesday for the draft strategy for financing sustainable development goals in the country. This as the UN system hopes to work with the Egyptian government to bring sustainable development goals into the heart of debate on financing and investment policies in Egypt. Terry Njenga, Channel 1 Business.
And some British firms could be complicit in the use of forced labor in China's Xinjiang region, as indicated by an MP's report. The Business, Energy and Industrial Strategy Committee said there was a lack of transparency in firms' supply chains and failures in government. Xinjiang is home to Chinese ethnic minorities, including Uyghur Muslims.
The legislators said firms in fashion, retail, media and technology could all be implicated, and it was time to blacklist those that failed to change. The report recommends the government accelerates proposals to amend and strengthen the Modern Slavery Act 2015. It also recommends the government develops a policy framework for creating a whitelist and blacklist of companies which do not meet the obligations to uphold human rights through their supply chains. Meanwhile, Finnish telecom giant Nokia is to X between 5,000 and 10,000 jobs worldwide in the next 2 years as it cuts cost. It isn't clear where the bulk of the cut will fall, but it is said about 96 jobs in the UK were under threat as part of the £518 million cost cuts. Nokia is playing catch-up on 5G and also wants to invest in cloud computing and digital infrastructure research. The company currently has 90,000 employees around the world and has cut thousands of jobs since 2015. Finally, Uber says it will give its 70,000 UK drivers a guaranteed minimum wage, holiday pay and pensions. The ride-hailing app giant said drivers will earn at least the UK's national living wage, paid to the over 25s of £8.7 an hour. It comes 1 month after the US firm lost a legal battle in the UK that began in 2016 over drivers' status. For Channel 1 News, I'm Wangare Washiri.
Closer home, the Kenya Revenue Authority has cautioned the public against the use of fraudulently registered motor vehicles and those whose import duty has not been paid for. The taxman has kicked off investigations to identify perpetrators of the fraudulent undertakings, which has seen some innocent Kenyans purchase the said vehicles, unaware of the scheme.
Kenyans have been urged to be on the lookout for irregularly registered motor vehicles, which KRS says are being sold to unsuspecting customers. Legally, being in possession of motor vehicles for which duty has not been paid is an offence under the East African Community Customs Management Act of 2004. Import of vehicles that do not comply with CAPE standards on the 8-year rule is prohibited. KRA wants members of the public to verify the status of payment of custom duty of registered motor vehicles before purchasing. In the recent past, KRA has continued to intercept imported or locally manufactured goods, warning the public to avoid the consequences of investigations, prosecution, seizure and detention of their goods. Terry Njenga, Channel 1 Business.
And in sports, the final set of the Champions League round of 16 second leg ties will be played tonight as Chelsea, who have a 1-0 advantage, will be hosting Atletico de Madrid at the Stamford Bridge, while Bayern Munich, who were 4-1 victorious in the first leg, will take on Lazio. Last night, Manchester City moved into the Champions League quarterfinals for a fourth successive season after a 4-0 goals aggregate victory over Borussia Mönchengladbach at the Puskás Arena in Budapest.
Inside the first 18 minutes, Ramos against Sportiello. Brilliantly done.
Tonight, Chelsea will be hoping to secure a win that will see them qualify for the quarterfinals when they take on Atletico Madrid tonight. Chelsea, who secured a 1-0 away win, will be without Jorginho and Mason Mount for the second leg of the last 16 after being suspended. Defender Thiago Silva and Tammy Abraham will remain out due to injuries. Atletico Madrid will call upon Kieran Trippier, Yannick Carrasco and Jose Gimenez after the trio missed the first leg. In another match, Bayern Munich will take on Lazio at the Allianz Arena. Daniel Mwendwa for Channel 1 Sports.
Elsewhere, 15-time golf major champion Tiger Woods says he is happy to be home after leaving the hospital following a serious car crash in California last month. Woods underwent a surgery on open fractures on his right leg and further injuries to his foot and ankle. In a statement released today, the 45-year-old has thanked the medical staff and well-wishers for the outpouring support and encouragement he has received over the past weeks. Investigation about the crash is still underway.
A bit of a draw. It's trying, not quite.
Well, pretty good effort there by the Cub and Tiger.
That's all we had lined up for you for Channel 1 Lunchtime News. Of course, more news in our subsequent bulletin and also on our website, that is www.kbc.co.ke. Lensa Odingo has been our sign language interpreter for this afternoon. I'm Ben Troy Njue. Good afternoon.
Vera Beauty College. Vera Beauty and Fashion College, with branches in Nairobi, Eldoret, Thika and Meru. Did you know that we are a TVET approved institution? We offer courses in fashion design, interior design in soft furnishing, event decoration, flower arrangement, event planning, hairdressing, barbering and dreadlocks, beauty therapy, makeup, nail technology, spa massages, teaching skills, TOT, solo business management, and many more. Register now and visit our website on www.verabeautycollege.com. You can also call on 0725 923 550 Nairobi branch, 0728 087 689 Eldoret branch, 0722 22 7428 Thika branch, 0725 000 706 Meru branch. Vera Beauty and Fashion College, a TVET approved institution.
fanya hivi, wewe teremuka tu chini. Hata watu wanangojea unasema unione. Si ninakuona ndio huyu kucha. Kucha ninakuona.
Yoi.
Nimekuita mara ngapi Kate? This is the Nissan Note.
Hii ndio motoka.
Not that this is the Nissan Note we are giving out.
Na ni rahisi sana kuwekelea bid. Unaenda kwenye lipa na M-Pesa. Unaweka paybill number 4032353. Kisha unakelea account number ya Nissan Note ni Note, N-O-T-E. Namba ambayo unapenda, labda unapenda 100, labda unapenda 200. Wekelea Note 100, Note 200. Alafu tutakuitisha shilingi 40 peke yake, 40 bob only. Weka pin yako, utakuwa umekelea bid ya hii Nissan Note. Inakungoja wewe mahali popote ulipo. Mimi na mtumishi tutakupea.
Ni juma lingine lenye baraka na fanaka tele hapa kwenye jukwaa la mkulima. Kipindi kinachokujuza mengi kuhusu mbinu tofauti za kilimo na teknolojia zinazoimarisha afya. Basi kama desturi, mimi ni wako Frederick Mbatha. Karibu. Wiki hii gurudumu letu bado linaangazia mazuri upande wa kilimo na ufugaji, aswa kwa vijana wa hapa mjini badala ya wao kukaa tu ama kujihusisha na uhalifu. Mtaa ni wa Huruma. Kuna kijana mmoja barubaru ambaye baada ya kupata mafunzo na mwongozo alijitosa katika ufugaji wa kuku na sasa anaongeza kuku dhamana. Karibu Sylvester atusimulie.
Kilimo nchini kimegawanywa katika vijisehemu vinne, vikiwa ni mimea, wanyama ama mifugo, samaki na miti ama msitu. Hapo awali ilikuwa ni vigumu kwa mtu anayeishi mjini kuzingatia kilimo. Lakini hivi sasa serikali imebuni mikakati ambayo kumsaidia mtu yeyote kuwa mkulima ama mfugaji popote pale anapoishi, bora tu atii matakwa. Sylvester ni mmoja wa vijana anayefurahia ufugaji mjini. Historia yake ya ufugaji nayo ilianza tangu akiwa mdogo.
Nilianza kufuga kuku kitambo nikiwa mdogo. So kitu ilifanya nianze kufuga kuku, I grew up in a home where poultry keeping ndio ilikuwa main source of livelihood na ilikuwa nafanywa na my grandmother. So there was a time we were faced with financial challenge na nikiwa form 3 nikafukuzwa school fees. So when I went home, grandma akauza flock of her poultry akakuja kupay school fee. So after nimemaliza shule, hiyo story ilikuwa imenishika sana. So ikani inspire na ikaspark interest yangu